evening. Good evening. Welcome to Friday Night Livestream. Good evening. Will, all right?
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Good. Happy Friday. Absolutely, Tom. And thank you to everybody who's joined us in the chat. 26 already, early doors. That's brilliant. Let's go through the roll call then. What was really nice to see, actually, guys. I know you've just been chatting amongst yourselves before the live stream started. Welcome everybody. But a big welcome to our VIP guest, JoshO's Reef from Instagram. How you doing, Josh?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Good, really good. Really excited for this, and thanks for joining us. And yeah, can't wait to find out more about your reef tank. You're gonna give us all the secrets, yeah?
Well, I say if there are secrets there, then yeah. But I'd imagine there's plenty more experience between you than myself. But
well,
we'll give
absolutely
it a go.
not. We can all nick some ideas. We can all nick some ideas. And Tom's fish are already circling there. I can see him look like a, you know.
Well, they're falling out at the minute. They're falling out at the minute because the chromis are laying eggs, and there's a bit of a fight going off at the minute. But we'll not go there.
Eggs everywhere.
Missing fins and a few bite marks.
Oh well, you can fill it in.
Don't know why, but yeah, we'll go there in a minute. Yeah,
it's all kicking off, is it? It's all kicking off in yours, is it?
It's all kicking off.
On that note as well, here's 5 now.
Hey,
wow. Mr. Mogsy, how you doing, mate?
It's busy.
How's it going? How's it going, chaps?
Happy Friday, mate.
Apologies for running a little bit late, as you know. My computer has to mess up. It has to mess up, doesn't it? Something's got to mess up, mate.
You're in detention now, mate. I'm going to go teacher mode on you. You're going to have to make up the time at the end. So we're going to do an extra 2 minutes now.
Fair enough, apologies.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Right, let's just do a quick roll call then and see who's in this evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony Close. I'm sure I set a challenge last week to see if anybody could beat Tony first to the comments, but absolutely not. Legend Tony, thanks for joining us. He's got a cider in tonight. Looking forward to the live stream. Anybody else on the beers tonight? Anybody else got the beers in front of him?
No, I'm not. Not today.
Tom's always got a beer.
Tom's always got a beer.
He's a thirsty one, is Tom. He's always got a beer.
Everybody else. This tank, it takes it out of me.
Driven you to drink.
Yeah, driven me to drink. Something like that.
And the rest of us are just, as you can tell, just healthy guys. So, you know, absolutely not.
Relatively.
You're not having a beer tonight, Josh?
No, work in the morning. Back at work, first day shift.
Oh, no good, mate. No good. You're off tonight, so let's make the most of it. Evening all. Can't make tonight. Oh, good. Catch up tomorrow. Have fun. Great stuff. He's got some what's that? That octopus escape that's been done at Crack and Calls is stunning.
Yeah.
You've seen it?
It's a massive one, massive head and tentacles, and it looks quite cool, to be fair. Yeah.
Somebody did do that. Yeah, it was good.
I need to check it out. Right, let's rattle through. Richie, good evening, mates. Good to see you. Evening. Riggs is in the house. Evening, buddy. Good to see you. Russell Brooks, yo. Day off. Great stuff, mate. You never get a day off on a Friday, so it's good to see you. And he's having a beer or 6. Yeah, don't blame you. Match Tom if you can, drink for drink. Nice one. Techers is in regular. Good to see you, Techers. Great to see you, mate. And also the legend that is our Skegness reefer, John Wright. Good to see you, buddy. In the chat there, and I think you're all chatting to each other. Then we've got MK Reefer. Good to see MK Reefer. Nice to see you, mate. And then NB Reefer. Evening, reefing amigos. Excellent stuff. Good to see you. One Arm Reefer. Your mate, Mogsy.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, he's looking after your fish now, isn't
he? Yeah, he's looking after my clownfish. He is. He's
killer whales.
Killer whales.
Yeah,
he's orcas.
Taking care of them. He's taking care of them. I'll tell you what. I must admit though, since I've took him out of that nano tank, the nitrates and phosphates have gone down by less than like 3/4, mate. Like it just goes to show you that too big one there. You know what I mean? I just thought, you know what, for a couple of months they'll be all right. Because you see them in shops, don't you? You know when they're in those little square tiny boxes, and you're like, you know, it should be all right. But the reality of it is that they shouldn't be in those size boxes. You know what I mean? Something that big, it's not right. You know what I mean? So yeah, Lee's looking after in I think it's about 300 litre tank or something like that. So plenty of swimming space. But yeah.
If you haven't seen it, check out Moggs' video on his YouTube channel. He's done a little update about his fish, actually.
And his the next one this Sunday is on Lee's one. Check that one out. You're not going to want to miss that one, mate.
Nice.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Nice. His tank is stunning.
I saw the little taste, what is it? Teaser? The little teaser at the end.
Teaser, the little teaser, mate. Yeah.
That's very
Check it out, mate.
Very professional. I'll be definitely watching it. I won't watch the adverts.
Check that one out.
Maren P. I won't watch your 10 adverts that you put in. Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute, but he says to us, watch me adverts, don't skip. And then he just skips through us. No wonder we don't get paid any money, though.
I know where his new tank money is coming from. There's about 10 adverts in his latest video.
I wish, mate. I wish.
Money bags Mogsy, that's what you should call you next.
Oh, God, no. Not with this house, mate. You got no chance.
One-armed Reef. John says, I'm getting 2 Radiant G4s. Paul's your man for them. He's done a video with them on today. £150. What do you reckon, Paul? G4 Radiants.
That's pretty good.
They're really good. We'll be able to sell them if not. Seems very cheap for 2 Radiants, that does.
75 quid. Is that each? Yeah. I'm presuming that's each.
That's 75 quid each. That is really good.
If that's 75 quid, I'll give me.
Yeah. XR15s, isn't it? G415s is saying.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They're really good lights. They'll grow your SPS and everything else. They're really good.
You love your G4s, don't you, Paul?
Yeah, and I've got a G3 as well. So the older Radiants do the job. I mean, obviously the spread's nowhere near as good as the 6s and the 5s that you guys have got. But on the on a 3-foot tank, 215s are brilliant. And on the 170, G3 is brilliant as well.
Controversially, sorry, Paul.
Go on. Sorry, no, go on.
I was going to say controversially, I heard the G5s were better than the G6s at Coral Growing, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know, Steve. I'm not just trying to wind you up.
Some people prefer the 5s to the 6s, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had the G5s, but I think what the difference is between it's more spread in there. There's more spread on the G6s than there is in on the G5s and stuff. Is it the same like colours in terms of like the the LEDs? I don't know.
You've got true UV, haven't you? That's what I'm jealous of. You've got
UV
spectrum in yours.
True UV, yeah. So, but other than that, that's about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you can get the expansion kit, can't you? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can change it from a G5 to a G6 if you've got them. So yeah,
I'm not sure that's
worth doing that
because the 5s will grow. Probably won't make the difference between whether they grow or not. I think there's other stuff that will have a influence in the difference between the 5s and 6s. If you can grow them with 3s and 4s, then you definitely can grow them with 5s. But I think the thing on the 6s, the spread was a lot better, wasn't it?
And then
you got the UV as well. I mean, if you want to do the upgrades, then fine. But I think you'd be all right. I mean, Jay, your tank looks pretty okay.
It's doing all right. It's doing all right. I think flow's just as important as lighting, but that's another topic to debate.
And of course your pH as well.
Oh, Tom's woke up. His ears have pricked up.
He had the 2 letters pH. Look how he's like a meerkat now, isn't he?
Oh, pH. You said pH. We love you, we love you, Tom.
Thanks, mate. Cheers,
Joe Fox. Good evening, Joe. Good to see you. Hi, Fish Geeks. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. We are. It's just started. Can't wait for it. Who else is in the house? Aqua, Ian. Oh my God, I haven't seen you for ages, mate. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
What's up? Hope the little Nano Reef tank's going well. Give us a little update. UKM 120. Good to see you, buddy. And thanks for all the support of all our channels. You always comment on our videos and stuff. We really appreciate it, mate.
Absolutely.
Even mine.
I'm going to leave this one to Tom. How do you pronounce that one again, Tom? Because I got it wrong last time.
Jill.
Well, it's Liam for a start. AKA Gill's Aquarium.
Gill's Aquarium. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw him posting pictures of his new wave makers, wasn't he, today?
Yeah. He was.
Hope he's enjoying setting them up and getting them going. I think Josh is going to talk about flow in a bit as well, so that'll be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's got some good stuff around flow. Pelagic swimmer. Yeah, good to see you, mate. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. And Reef 216 is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And Darren McGinty. Evening, everybody. Hope everyone's well. We're all good. And Hayley as well. Shout out to Hayley. Hope your tank's going well, Hayley. Stuart's in. God, it's pretty busy tonight. Thanks for joining us, guys. Can tell no one's been paid. Everyone's at home. Good to see you, Woody. And Steve is in. Morning, fellas. Wow. Oh, nice one, mate.
From Australia.
Nice one.
You know what? This live stream gets about a bit. It's a bit like Steve in his bus.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you said that because I hope my missus isn't watching. I
was a bit worried, so I was like, I best add in his bus to the end of it.
We're getting a knife in my back. Good job you said that. Correction.
They are late. I'm not. I don't think I was late this time. Yeah, Steve's late. It's ridiculous. He's staying behind after this. Jay's putting his test. Oh, what? Was I late? Was I late?
The stream was late, wasn't it? We went live 1 minute after.
Back in the shopping. God. Anybody who's saying these comments have been watching this about a year and a half at least, if not 2 years. Come on, Jay. Where's the bell gone? Thanks, guys. Cornish Reefer, good to see you, mate. Gus is in as well. Loads and loads of people. Thanks for joining us tonight. Pierre Paolo, I hope I've pronounced that right. Good to see you, mate, as well. Cube Reef from Italy. Wow, we're going international tonight. Because Josh is on. Josh, you pulled in an international crowd.
Absolutely.
I stand. That's a student, obviously, that I teach. Hello, sir. Get off the live stream.
He's got to watch what he says now.
I know, I've got to be on my best behaviour. And Simple Reef Life, good to see you, mate. And Grumpy Reefer. Sorry, you're not that late. Don't worry, mate. You've still got loads of time. So everybody's accounted for. So let's introduce then our special guest. Let me just do a bit of screen sharing, Josh.
I thought we could do a drum roll then.
I would if I could do sound effects. JoshO's Reef is on Instagram. I'm sure you've absolutely seen his tank. I'm just in awe of this tank. So I reached out to him just before Christmas to say, would you join us for a live stream? And kindly he's offered to come and jump on in January. And I spoke to Josh because, you know, when you look at everybody else's tanks and you just think their tank is better than mine, it looks better than mine. Well, Josh, yours was a tank that I looked at on Instagram and I thought, that's better than mine. And I want that tank. So I was like, I'm going to get him on and I'm going to get all his tips and tricks or whatever. So I'm just going to show you Instagram very quickly if I can. Share screen. Here we are. Let's have a look. So share that. Here you go, guys. So if you haven't checked him out, this is Josh O'Reef's Instagram. And he's got some absolutely stunning tanks he's going to tell us about. So yeah, check out his Instagram. It is looking super sweet. And if you've got questions for Josh, please stick them in the chat tonight, and he will do his very best to answer them. I'm sure you will, won't you, Josh?
I'll try.
You will, yeah. So we always do this, Josh. We'll start with you, mate. How's your week in reefing gone? Anything happened this week?
I've managed to finally, after how long has the tank been running now? About 8 months, 7-8 months. I finally managed to get the controller cabinet done, which was a bit of a chore. But it was quite nice because I've had the cabinet next to the display tank for ages now. And every time I open it, it's a mess. And even though it's not something that necessarily everyone else is going to see, just for your own sort of peace of mind and organization, just helps that little level of enjoyment. It's something I've wanted to do for absolutely ages. So I spent a couple of days at the start of the week getting that sorted. Thankfully, that's now done. So yeah, it was more a case of focus on the tank a little bit. I know we had a chat the other night, Jay, and you were giving the tank loads of compliments. And as soon as we came off, I looked in and noticed that I had some cyano, which was brilliant. I've not had that in this tank yet, so I was like, that's perfect. So we're going to try and work out what the issue is with that. And then I know we chatted the other night about fish as well, and I said to you about how I struggle really badly with fish. I seem to do all right with corals, but fish, for some reason, I just don't seem to do very well with. And then this morning I came in and found the silver belly wrasse stuck to the side of the MP10. Still alive, and he's still alive in the quarantine tank that I've set up as well, which is now medicated. So fingers crossed. It's the second time he's been in there as well. So fingers crossed he pulls through again. He's still going, so hopefully we get some with him. But yeah. Fish for me has been an absolute nightmare. So fingers crossed.
Quite a few downs this week then, by sounds.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, it started on a positive because I finished the controller cabinet and thought, things are really starting to pick up now. And then next thing you know, I've got cyano, and then a couple of days later, I've ended up with a fish stuck to the side of a wave maker. So not the best end, but fingers crossed. They say it comes in 3, so hopefully there's one more small thing, and then we'll go back uphill again from there. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Does it come in 3s or 10s in reefing? I don't know. I think it seems to be more.
Never ending.
Seems to be more than 3.
Yeah, I'll say never ending.
Yeah, I think it never ends.
It never ends. It never does end. Right, I'm going to start hammering some questions at you, Josh, and I'm sure the guys will ask you a few questions as well. In fact, I'm going to ask you the one that Mogsy asked me. How the hell do you keep it so clean?
Because I'm literally tinkering with it every single day. That's like probably my other half's biggest bugbear, is that my hands are either permanently in the tank or I'm permanently with my face stuck to the glass having a look at things. I get a lot of spare time, and it's in the front room, so I'm constantly walking past it. So if I see something I want to deal with, I'll just deal with it straight away. And that's the thing that this is now the 3rd tank I've run in just over 4 years. And every single one, because they've been in the living room, it's been a case of you're constantly looking at it. So it needs to look good. If people are coming in your house, they're not going to sit in your bedroom, they're going to sit in your front room. So you want it to look good for people coming in as well. So that's the thing. As soon as you see like small bits of algae or anything that I don't like the look of, I'll try and deal with it as soon as possible, rather than in the past where I've gone, I'll do that next week sort of thing. Before you know it, you've got a hair algae outbreak or something. It was a case of let's just deal with everything straight away. As soon as you see something, get it dealt with, and then hopefully you don't end up with anything too plague proportion. So that's why with the cyano this week, as soon as I saw a couple of patches, straight away blast them off, work out potentially what the cause is. I think it might have been a couple of little dead spots with flow, which is mad to think with the amount of flow that's in there. But it looked like there was just a little accumulation of detritus in a couple of little holes. And then I think obviously as soon as it grows out of those holes, even though you've got decent flow in other areas, it'll manage to spread over the surface and outcompete other bacteria. So who knows? I think it is just a case of just constant tinkering, which might not necessarily be as good for the corals. I know a lot of people say hands out the tank is the best way. But if you want it looking pristine clean, I think keeping hands in and around the tank tends to be the best way to do it, just from my experience anyway.
So what is that tank there? Is that a custom or is it off the shelf? What is that tank?
It's a Red Sea Reefer XL200. It came. I should have sent you a picture of it actually. When I got it, it's a second-hand tank. I don't think I did send you the picture of it.
In fact, I've got a picture of it actually. Let me just grab. While you're talking, I'll just try and grab it because I've got it.
Yeah. So it literally was just black cabinet, normal tank, and then obviously with the black like stickers either side of the weir.
Is it this one here? Let's have a look. Is that it?
Yeah, so the cabinet was originally black, and obviously you originally had the stickers either side of the weir. But I've seen a couple of tanks where people had ripped it off, so I thought that, in my opinion, looked nicer. I like the fact that you get the reflection of the wall behind it. That blue light looks more natural. If you look horizontally in the ocean, you're going to see blue, not black. So that was the case. I ripped those stickers off. The base of it, because obviously you've got the black foam under it, I used a white vinyl sticker, stuck that to the bottom of the tank. So obviously that's why it's got the white base. So if the sand moves around, which it does occasionally, it does. You don't have that black patch. It's white. It doesn't look like the sand, obviously, but it looks better than black.
So that's underneath. That's underneath.
Yeah, so it's stuck to the bottom of the glass. Yeah, underneath the tank.
Sorry, mate. This is how you're getting that. Sorry, buddy. Go on, Steve.
No, I'm saying like just little touches like how the difference how it makes in it, in the look of the
definitely.
Tank. it just makes it look on another level, doesn't it? You know, just little touches like that, which is simple, but it's effective in it. You know.
Yeah, that was the thing. As soon as I had bare spots in the Max Nano I had before, you'd see the black base, and not only does it not look as good, but it doesn't reflect light as well. Obviously, white reflects light, black absorbs it. So if you're growing SPS, you want every single surface as reflective, or reflecting the light as much as you can. So I thought, well, we'll stick white on the bottom, and hopefully it'll do a good enough job. So
makes sense.
I love that. That's how you're getting the really white effect on your Instagram pictures, because obviously you got that white base and also the white back. Because I hate the black. I know a lot of people have black backs, but I like the kind of peninsulas because you can put the white behind it. And
that was it. Peninsula sort of style tanks are hands down my favorite sort of view. And that's why with this tank, the sofas are down next to me here. So when you look at it from the sofas, you either from one of them you're looking peninsula style through the tank, or the sofa that's right next to me, you're looking front on. So you're getting two really sort of ideal views. You're not having just an entirely black back. That was one of my biggest bugbears with my Max Nano was the black background, and then it gets so dirty that it shows up straight away. And you just sort of go, it doesn't. Straight away you're not enjoying the tank as much. So that was it. And then the inside the cabinet as well. So I know that some of the Red Sea tanks they originally did the inside of the cabinets white. And then for some reason they've gone now, just all the cabinet insides are black. And for me, it's much brighter. If you put a light on in there, it's much brighter. You can see what you're doing a little bit better. So I ended up painting the inside of the cabinet white as well. I put more vinyl down the side of the sump so that any light spilling out of the sump, because I'm intending on putting a little frag section in the front of there if I can move things around a bit. Any light spill won't go out into the dosing containers and potentially cause algae issues. So it's like you're saying, Steve. It was just every little you can see it on the left-hand side of it there, just like a bit white, so you can't see anything through it. I know it looks a little bit messy there, because obviously all the tubes are not as organised as what they are now. But it was just like you said, let's say you said little touches. It was all those different things that you've done over time. And you go, I didn't like that. Yeah, massively. Yeah,
because I wrapped on one of the tanks the three sides that you've done, but also the base as well. And the reason why I've done the base on the 900 is you can see all the crud in the bottom. You can see if it's getting really, but I found it really light. It lit it up a lot better, and I put a light in the sump as well, so because the cabinet is dark grey, so you're not going to get any reflection at all. It's made such a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a quick question though. Obviously, you've got it clear, haven't you? On the back, like we see.
It's so clear.
And you're gonna get a film, aren't you? So if you do get a film on it, every tank gets a film no matter what, because you're gonna have nutrients in your system. So how do you go around that? Can you get a magnet behind it to scrape?
The magnet that
you go all the way around.
I can get all the way up to the edge, up to the rear and then background in the side. Because obviously it's the Vortex wave makers, so it needs to sit off the wall a good couple of inches.
Of course it does. Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of space to work in there. So it's ideal. Really.
Perfect.
No, I like that.
Oh, no,
I tell you what, you've got some serious flow there, haven't you? What's that? Two Vortex.
And 240 and MP10.
A 10 and a 40 by the looks of it.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be 240s eventually, fingers crossed. 240s eventually, and then I've got the new AI Orbit 2s. I've got those side.
What do you think of them?
Love those. Love them. Absolutely brilliant. I've never used a Jaya before. Previously I had the GHL Versus Streams, which they're just a directional wave maker, and unfortunately they don't cut, because this is one of the things that we talked about, Jay, wasn't it? Was flow in a nano tank's really hard, because in a larger tank, if you've got a wave maker one end, by the time it gets 2/3 of the way along, it's spread out to a wider area. Whereas in this, it's hit the opposite glass before it's had a chance to spread out, and then it either goes down to the sand or up to the surface. So you get a lot of stagnation in there. And obviously with the orbits, you've got that really nice wide flow area. The width of the orbits is pretty much the same width as the scape. So it covers the entire one. And with either side of it, obviously, you can adjust the direction of either side. So I've got the front or the left, the nearest side of them is sort of pointed down up harder at the scape. And then when you've got taller cars at the back, it's more of a horizontal, just so that nothing's getting absolutely battered, but there is enough flow moving around.
That's exactly what I love about. That's what I love about gyres in general, is like the direction you can. alternate one. When I have it in my old tank, I had one pointing down at the SPS, so it was getting the float, and then I had one on the surface, so it was getting the agitation of the movement on the top of the surface. I think they're fantastic. It's just the only problem I have find with me was like with the build up of algae, even a little bit of algae, if you found that it slows it down, the power that you get the output.
I'm assuming I put these in. I think it was around about. I think it was about the start of December. I think I put them in, and I went and got a couple of spare. You can obviously buy spares for most things now. So I bought spare blades and cages, just one set.
Right.
I could do the exact same thing you would with an MP. I literally just pulled the cages and the blades off, put the clean ones on, and then put the dirty ones in some citric acid. Once they were clean, the next day, just swap the other set out. So it was literally a 5-minute job changing them out. I've heard that it's a pain to obviously clean them. So I thought, well, if I get some spares, it's going to make life much easier. I think the flow did decrease, like you're saying, it did decrease. And it was only over the space of a month and a bit. But I changed the MPs out every month anyway. So, it's just a case of do one, 2 days later, do another one, 2 days later, do another one, just so you're not literally going from 0 to 100 again. So everything gets the flesh ripped off of it.
Absolutely, no, it makes total sense. Like you said, if you could get spares for them, it's like you said, it's imperative in it because we do it with our MPs with our vortex, don't we? By the wet side of them, don't we? I mean, I think I've got
that was exactly the
I've got 3
the
MP10s.
principle, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3 MP10s and 2 MP40s, and like you said, bang it in some citric acid, put the other one on, and leave it for a day, and then clean it, like you say. So yeah, it makes total sense. Absolutely.
You put the rock in the middle, Josh, on purpose, I take it, so you can access it all the way around.
Yeah. So the Max Nano before, with it being in the corner of the room, I wanted to have it looking like it. And obviously, I don't know, it's not coming out the corner of the room, but I couldn't see the left side or the back, so it made sense to move it as far across that side as possible. There was no point in having grow room there because I wasn't going to be able to appreciate anything that was on the side.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, because I've got 3 viewing panels on it. It made sense to have the scape in the centre so that I could obviously look around, and it also gives me more space for corals to be placed.
Yeah.
That was one thing that frustrated me with the Max Nano was I could put about maybe 5 or 6 decent sized colonies in there, and then you were crowded out because you'd lost a side. Whereas now, obviously, I've got 3 sides, and it gives me that flexibility to have a lot more in there. Granted, that this amount of corals, that obviously I can see the picture you're showing now, Jay. The amount of corals I can't see actually. I think there's a couple that I've moved. Have they gone on? That's after I've moved a couple on already by this picture. It was a little bit more packed a couple of weeks ago, but I shifted a couple onto a local reefer just because I'd had them in there and I thought, well, let's see how they colour up, how they look like they're going to grow, and then slowly we'll whittle away the ones that aren't going to look as good, and keep the ones that are. So even now, the amount of corals that you can see in there. Give me 2 seconds. The ATO was just kicked on. It's just started beeping us.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. So much going on there.
Talk about in real estate. There's not much real estate there to put any more corals, is there?
Well, that's it. That's exactly it, mate.
Is that your idea? Is your idea to take away the ones that you're not really keen on or you're not going to keep, and then you keep the ones?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we've got those in there now. So I'll allow them to grow out, colour up. The ones that, in my opinion, are starting to look the best. Stay. And then as things obviously fill out, we'll take out the ones that we don't like as much. And I think realistically, when I first set out, I thought realistically we're looking at maybe 15 acropora staying in there. And that will probably be, even then it might still be too many. I might then have to thin that out to maybe 10 just decent sized colonies. Or
what have you got in there? About 25? Looks like you've got about 25 or something. I reckon 25.
I reckon range, probably. I think maybe a few more than that at the minute. Acropora be about 20, but then SPS total, I reckon there's quite a few. But yeah, they're only at the end of the day. That's the thing.
I take it they're not cemented down then because you're moving them around. No. Have you drilled holes in the rock then?
No, Jay, did I send you that picture? I think it's
got you did. Let me just grab it. Let me just grab it, buddy. Yeah, and I'll put it on. Let me just have a little look.
So I don't know, Todd, have you seen? I can't remember what his name is now. Coral Euphoria. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
So you know how he obviously makes all his own custom plugs with like the sort of
little
shelf
sticks
rock
on them.
Yeah. So I sort of, because I've custom made the rock with just sort of really small pieces of rock and glued them together. I wasn't 100% confident that me pressing down on them with a drill, it would hold together. So I thought, well, how can I like sort of go the other way around it? So I bought zipper racks, sort of what do you call it, like media.
The media.
And then I made some like plugs with the Nano cement. So there you go. You see like the little purple pegs. Yeah. So like the zipper racks, basically, I just like made sure the center of that fitted onto the stems of some purple plugs. I just got some normal purple coral frag plugs, cut the stems off, and then putted them to the rock with a bit of black milliput, just so it blended in. And then the zipper racks is basically what the stem would be on the bottom of a frag plug, and they just slot straight on top.
So if you're not
great idea, that is a great idea.
Great idea. That's fantastic.
It was a chew on because I had to make a custom mold out of like silicone, and I borrowed a mate's 3D printer to make almost like a plastic rebar to go inside the cement just because it would crack so easily. So it was a bit of try. That's the one there, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also getting some media added to your tank with a zipper axe as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So exactly.
I know. Lee, who got my corals off me, he bought 2 buckets full of that zipper axe. He's got 2 buckets full of it, and he's planning on using that. But that's an ingenious idea. That something you'd never thought of. But
no, it was one of those. It was like there was one thing actually that I haven't mentioned with it. The one thing that was one of the main reasons actually for me was one of them. I hated having to glue a decent sized coral onto a rock because you stood there holding it for ages, and half the time it never stuck, and you didn't use a full tube of glue or whatever. But the other one was encrusting. I don't actually want any corals to encrust onto the skate because when I had the bubblegum digi encrust in the previous tank, I couldn't get it. It was impossible. And then you try and place them and it'd start growing back out again. And no matter what you did, you couldn't get it off the rock. So I thought I need a way of keeping the corals off the rock so that if I ever want to pull it, it's not then going to be a hassle in the future. So that was
you've almost like created, do they call it Oasis or something like that? You know that big styrofoam that flower shops you stick the flowers in. We've almost created like a big
that's right, Tom. Right. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like, isn't it?
I think that's what it's called, something like that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mum used to buy it and used to
called
squeeze
Oasis.
It and stuff.
Oasis,
I'm sure it's called Oasis. I get it. It's a similar sort of concept, but I know what you've done now.
The way you've done that is similar to what Aquaprint do. So Aquaprint,
they got a
3D. Absolutely, because I've got a couple in here. So that's exactly the thing that you get the kind of the circular things like the zipper axe. You put it on there, and then you can screw the top onto it, and then you can move stuff around, and it stops it encrusting. So it's exactly the same with that concept. But obviously, you've done it yourself.
Yeah, I looked at the Aquaprint ones, and that obviously I'll be honest, that was a couple of years ago. I thought that's a really good idea. The only drawback I could see with that is once the colonies grow out and are potentially almost touching, is to get that coral out again, you're gonna have to rotate it, and if it hasn't grown perfectly circular, you're then gonna have to crash it into other corals to then try and twist it out, if that makes sense. Whereas these, I'm just sort of like the same as with the stems going straight into the rock, where it's just an up and down. So that was I'll be honest, the Aquaprint one definitely did give me a little bit of inspiration towards it.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're just pulling them up as opposed to having to turn them around, and as you say, you'd end up breaking pieces off or pieces that you want.
Yeah, it's something you just mentioned a second ago, Steve, as well, was you said about I know, Tom, you'll like this one because I'm going to mention pH now. You were saying about the extra media in the tank.
Reaction. Let me get this off.
Yeah,
the extra media in the tank. Obviously, bacteria, they consume oxygen, and they'll give off carbon dioxide. So I can't remember where I read something. It was an article I read, but they basically said that if you have a ton of media, you'll actually suppress your pH. So that was one of the things. I've got 2 of the Max Specs balls left in the sump now. I'm slowly removing them because there should be enough nitrifying bacteria in the sand, the rockwork, and the zipper axe that I don't need anymore. I have seen people where they have, like you say, they have buckets and buckets of it. And I have heard it suppresses pH. I thought I don't want to run that risk because pH is one of the things that we're quite keen on chasing at the moment.
pH is key, mate. pH is key. For sure. Yeah. I know Jay's shaking his head, but yeah.
No,
pH,
honestly, I agree.
Hey,
let's.
You agree?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Fair play.
I'll put in the top 5, maybe the top 4. Converted. Right, let's catch up with the questions. So, Liam's asking, how's your ammonium dosing going on? I think that might be to Tom, actually. Is it? I don't know.
No, it's to Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Starts with hey, Josh.
Why would it be?
Yeah,
Tom?
there's the clip. There's the clip.
it could be Jill.
How's your ammonium dosing going? Are you using chloride or hydroxide? And are you using GBL test kits to monitor and test? Thanks, Josh. So
the ammonium, was it, Tom, did you say you've been looking at it as well?
I looked at it a couple of weeks ago, and there just wasn't a lot on there for me to look at, so I was a little bit dubious. Because the worry for me was that you're talking that finer amounts. Yeah. That for me, too much is obviously, an issue. And I don't know. I'll let you do it and you let me know if it works. I might follow suit.
So I've not started it yet.
Right, okay.
But the fact that I keep losing fish means that I'm probably going to have to start it sooner rather than later. But yeah, the logic came from, there's a load of I do watch quite a lot of the American old school reefers. So your likes of Sanjay Yoshi, Mike Paletta, people like that. Yeah. They're using it. And the logic, there is sort of studies out there that show that corals will assimilate ammonium much more readily as a nitrate source than nitrates themselves. Ammonium, if you put like 1 part per million ammonium in, you're going to end up with, I think it's about 3.3 nitrates, something along those lines. So the logic for me was I could effectively simulate a high fish load, so they're getting the nutrition that they need more easily. The corals anyway get the nutrition more easily, and hopefully it will help quicken the growth up a bit, darken the colors up a touch, and just make them grow just all around a little bit faster. Whether or not it definitely works or not, I don't know. But from the anecdotal evidence from Sanjay, he said he removed a couple of really big fish from his aquarium, started using the ammonium, and instantly saw that his KH started to plummet because it had affected the corals had started to assimilate it so well that obviously they were growing much more quickly. And that for me is a really good way of telling if obviously your corals are growing. If your KH starts dropping really quickly, obviously they're growing much faster than what they previously had. And that was his logic on it. So it was sort of like, if you've got two guys there that between them have probably got 60, 70 years of experience in the hobby, and they're saying that it's definitely a good way. And one of them obviously being having a doctorate, you sort of trust their experience.
I mean, Mike Paletta's still dosing vodka as well, isn't he?
I've no idea. Potentially, yeah. But you said
big advocate of that.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously using it as a carbon dose. In effect, I'm sort of doing something similar with the zeolites. You have to feed them sort of like a carbon source for the bacteria to grow. So in effect, it's like the Tropic Marine MP products. You've got the Backdoor Balance, Elimi MP, and plus. So I use those in rotation depending on what my nutrients are doing to feed the zeolites to keep them sort of in the ranges I want. But at the minute, I'm having to dose nitrate on a daily basis, and quite a lot of it, to just keep the numbers sort of readable on a test kit. Just because I'm running the zeolites, but I don't want to stop the zeolites because things will shoot up. So it's a case of if I have to put a little bit more in to allow it to happen, and that's fine for me. That was the thing, is if I can use the ammonium instead to replace the nitrates, and then the corals can uptake them in a much quicker fashion, then it seems to me like it's a more logical solution. But like you said, that tiny little bit too much, corals won't be bothered. Corals aren't bothered about a high nitrate reading.
No, it's the fish, isn't it?
It's the fish. And we could potentially, you could go, oh well, you're losing the fish because you're dosing the ammonium, but I haven't started it yet. So
I just think for me, there's I'll wait till there's a little bit more out there. I don't feel like experimenting with my fish. They've been through everything. So last thing we'll be doing is killing my fish.
Exactly.
So I suppose, Josh, you've got a lot of SPS there, so they're going to be soaking up the nutrients, aren't they? So if you haven't got much fish, you need something else to stimulate that nitrate to feed that. Because I found when I had a big 5-foot tank, when I started closing it down, I took out big colonies, and when I was taking out big colonies, the nitrates were going through the roof. So I hadn't really, because as the tank grows out, you don't really notice it, just how much it was soaking up, and was then using that to feed. And SPS are probably the biggest soakers of nutrients, aren't they? And you've got a lot in there. It's only a small tank, isn't it? And you've got a lot in there already. And if they're growing quite fast, you're going to soak up the nutrients pretty quick. So it makes sense what you're doing.
Absolutely. So we'll watch this space for you, Josh, and then Tom might do it if you're successful. Is that how it is, Tom? Yeah.
I heard about it a while ago, but I didn't until Josh mentioned it a few weeks ago. I think in one of the comments it had not resurfaced, and I looked into it and I just thought, again, call me a bit of a scaredy cat, whatever, but until there's lots of information out there on people getting it right and getting it wrong, same as Calquas when I first started with that, same thing. Then I will probably look at it.
Yeah, it's a bit like the KHK brace, Steve, and the Gen 1 and the Gen 2.
You know what? That's it, mate. Yeah. You know what? You don't jump in straight away.
Don't go first. I learned that lesson.
See how it goes.
I'd just be mortified if I'd lost some of my fish that I'd had for like 10. I've had some of these for 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, if Clive goes, that's it. This live stream's shutting down. We're not having that. Lily and Clive. Lily needs to be sorted out as well.
Hey, they should go out on a date. They should go out on a date, Steve. We should set them up.
She's getting fatter now, mate. I'm feeding her up banging 20 packs of pod there a week, mate. She can't be eating that, surely. You know what I mean? So
she looks so skinny on that last video, mate. I know,
mate. You know,
I hope she doesn't snuff it.
She's 6 years old, isn't she? You know what I mean? 6 years old for a Mandarin, mate. You know what I mean? So she's doing well. You know what I mean? But yeah, she seems to be eating. She's swimming about. She's eating and she's doing a thing. So just got to keep an eye on her. You know what I mean? But yeah,
right,
I'm gutted if I lose her, mate. Gutted.
Controversially, right, your Nano is looking better than your 350 now, isn't it? And
I've sent you guys.
Wait, have you seen them pictures you sent us? Obviously, that you have.
Yeah, it's good.
It's got to do a video. Do a video next week.
Doing all right. I am doing a video next week on it. Yes, so
it looks unreal. Your Fluval Evo.
It's doing well, mate. It's really good, actually. You know what? I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying doing water changes. I never thought I'd say that. But yeah, it's strange, like water changes when you're never used to it. You know what I mean? But
official.
I mean, and we're getting good pH because it's right near the front door, so we're getting plenty of you know what I mean? So,
Mason's Mini Reef looks incredible.
Mate, it does. Mason's Mini Reef, yeah. It's.
Have you got a perspex side to it then? Because it seems like Joe says you've got a perspex side. That looks of it. Is that right?
No.
The paneling of the wall behind him that he's had decorated.
Oh, I'm not paying attention, Joe.
It's been a long time.
It's been decorated.
Paneling of the wall, mate. Yeah, good on the paneling of the wall. Yeah.
Oh, very nice, Steve. Yeah. Very nice.
I've decorated all. Well, the majority of the house. It's
Grand Designs this stream now, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Grand Design.
The house around his Evo.
It's gonna, yeah. Oh yeah, put all the paneling on me Evo, mate. It looks class now. It looks posh. Yeah.
Oh,
looks really
wow.
Good. But I've got a custom. I'm getting a lid made for it as well. So that's coming soon. So
idea.
getting
a lid.
A proper lid.
Last tank, no lid and no water changes. New tank, he's got a lid and he's got water changes. He's a new man.
He is a new man.
Well, you know what? New year, new man. Yeah, that's what it's got to be, mate. So yeah, we've got to figure something out. Yeah, but no, overall, seriously, it's going well, mate. To be fair, I'm quite happy. And like you say, really, it's getting all what it needs from the water changes. You know what I do? Because I do them theoretically, like I said before. Even though it's a 52 litre, supposedly it's not. It's probably got 40 litres of water in it. You know what I mean? So. When you do I do 15, 20 litres of water, that's like 35% in it. You know what I mean? It's crazy, mate. So it's doing well, and it just takes enough. So
doing really well.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm
happy with the way.
Is Mason happy with it? Because it's your grandson's, isn't it? You set it up for your grandson, that one, didn't you?
Oh, I've got it. Yeah, this is it, mate. I've got to make sure because, I mean. Kids, they're drawn to the blue lights, he was drawn to, blue lights and the movement, and he'd just look at it, stare at it, when he was in his high chair and stuff. So, obviously, my old tank gone. He's not got nothing to look at, has he now? Now he comes in the house and he sees that, he's like, yeah, he loves it, mate. He loves it. So, it's a small one, so I thought, you know what? Yeah, we'll have it for him.
It there, isn't it? Grandad Coral.
And then when I get the new tank, mate, then we're on We're on another level. Led. We'll be going up.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
Can't wait for that.
All SPS like Josh. Josh's. That's where he's going.
He's gonna take your idea from
I'm going to ask you a question as well here while I'm on that subject. Yeah. What would you say, Josh? Would you say, I know people can say you can put corals in straight from the get-go after it's cycled, etc., etc. Yeah. What would you say would be the minimum time you should put SPS in a reef tank?
These went in 6 weeks after it started.
6 weeks. Wow.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you've done it. The amount of opinions, what people say. People say, like you just said, 6 weeks. Yeah. Other people say I'd give it 5-6 months. You know what I mean, etc. So people are like, it's so.
Tom, when's your first coral
so many
going
people have different. Hey.
I was asking Tom when he's putting his first coral in because it's been a bloody. How long is it now?
4 months today. 4 months tomorrow.
4 months. Yeah, 4 months. Yours is 4 months. Yeah. So it just goes to show you done it like people's opinions. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not corals right here. Yeah, well, hang on a minute. No offense, Josh. Smaller volume water. Well, I'm not saying it's easier, but for me to do water changes on this, it takes me like all weekend.
That's way faster than the big tank.
Well, I've got no stability at the minute anyway. So we've got there in a minute, which is why I'm not even talking about corals. So it's all to do with bacteria or lack of it, and isn't it, Paul? Lack of it turning up through the post. So I've had major issues last couple of weeks. But
just to update our viewers, Tom's doing like a bacterial cycle. I don't know.
Well, I'm starting the zeolite, Josh. So obviously, as you probably know, you have to put quite a bit in to start with, and then you have to do it over. Well, I don't know whether you do or not with what you're doing, but I'm doing the zeolite one, so it's like 14 days of dosing it, of adding the zeo start and zeo back to basically kickstart the cycle. But when your bacteria doesn't turn up, when it does turn up and it's the small bottle and you order the big bottle, and then they promise you the big bottle and it takes a week and you still don't get it because it's lost in Royal Mail, you have to start your cycle all over again. Which is why my phosphates were coming down, and now my phosphates have gone right back up now.
Oh, okay, because you were struggling with that, weren't you? That was one of the
as well. And they were going all the way down. I was managed to take the Rowaphos off. They were coming down. And then, because I've not, like I said, been able to stick to this routine of putting the bacteria in every day, so it can obviously, populate. It's shot back up now. So
have you got zeolite reactor running?
Yeah.
But a big shout out to Paul though, because he actually got you some, didn't he? And sent it.
He did, mate. Thank you again. Appreciate that. Yeah, you got me. You managed to.
The legend that Paul is.
The legend.
The legend.
Paul the legend.
This is what you need. You need a family of reefing friends, and they just help you out.
Yeah. It does help, to be fair.
It does.
Paul goes
AKA the German soldier.
That's it, yeah. Paul goes to AAC. Good evening to James Olifants. And guys, we've got a super chat. We're in the money. We're making the money tonight. $1.99. Thanks. Honestly, you don't have to send money, mate. But thank you so much. Techers has got the 300. Josh, some similar. Obviously a bit larger than yours, but
snow camouflage cabinet.
No camouflage cabinet. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a picture of that. Snow
camouflage. Yeah.
Let's see that.
White. There's people talking there about them. If you can hit the thumbs up, we'd love that. Appreciate that. It really helps the YouTube channel a lot. Thank you very much. Right, let's have a look for some questions. Coral Essentials are in on a Friday night.
Yes.
Working late. I know Steve and Josh both use this products. Anyone buying any reefing stuff, or can you recommend any Coral Essential stuff that you use? Is Josh frozen? I don't know.
I think he's
Steve,
frozen.
do you want to mention anything that you use? Coral Essentials wise? Yeah.
I use everything, mate.
You've used a lot of that stuff.
I love their stuff. I know it's thing, but you know what matters to me the most, is that it works. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not about the cost. It's not about anything or whatever. Yeah, it's about does it work? And the CVE, the aminos, the grow, all that stuff. All of that stuff, mate. It works. You know what I mean? So for me,
that one.
That
just brings the colour.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I use
mate.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
need a new bottle, Stig. I need a new bottle.
Hey, mate, I tell you what, it's brilliant stuff, that CBE.
It is good stuff. It is.
But you know what, though? Like the alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, as you guys know, I was dosing stupid amounts of the aquaphoric stuff, crazy amounts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then then like obviously I was compensating for the dosing, with my evaporation and stuff like that. But when it was cold and there wasn't much evaporation, I'm still dosing enough a litre of reagents a week. That's what I was dosing. A week, a day. You know what I mean? And that was because of 300 mil of magnesium, 300 calcium, and 300 alkalinity. It was madness, mate. It was just like now I sit down and think about it. I think I must have been off my head, dosing that much. And then since switching on to like Coral's Essentials, I was dosing like 60. I think it was 60 of alkalinity, and then it was like 40 of each of the calcium and magnesium, which is a massive difference. Do you know what I mean? And it works, does the same thing, and it kept it stable as anything. So you know what? Absolutely, for me, if it works, mate, and it grew my corals,
it is good.
It's a win-win.
Yeah,
it's a win-win.
The Aussies know how to do reefing, and it's Aussie based.
Well,
that's good.
Absolutely, yeah. Australian company, mate. Good so stuff. Yeah, brilliant. Definitely stuff.
So, big question, guys. Who is at Aqua this year? Who's bought the tickets? And what day are we going? Now, I've got a little.
I will be getting my ticket. I will be getting my ticket. I put my holiday request. I put my holiday request in for the Monday. Sorry, for the Saturday. So I'm rotated to work, but I put it in for the Saturday. So if it gets approved, I will be getting my ticket and then going on the Saturday. 100%. Yeah.
And that's what we're doing it, Tom and Paul. We're Saturday, aren't we?
We are Saturday, mate.
I haven't got the ticket yet, but Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Well, they've updated. Look, they've updated the exhibitors now, so it's getting a bit tasty.
Didn't you?
It's getting tasty.
The one I want to see is Cade, because I haven't seen a Cade tank yet. Not that I'd buy a Cade tanks. I think they're way too expensive. But I'm intrigued to see what they're like. So that'll be good.
I agree.
I love the Cade frag tank. That looks unreal. That does. I really like that.
The Polyp Pros The Polyp Pros do some really good reef, some frag racks, some high-end frag racks. They look tasty. If you've seen some of them.
The only thing that I don't like about the Cade tanks, is what you got to bear in mind. There is an Australian company. What you got to bear in mind, is that in Australia, just like where my uncle lives in Perth, their houses are like 5 times the size of our houses, and they're all of those Cade tanks. They're all on like a flat wall, Hence the reason they put the control panel in the side of the tank, Now, for me. If I was to buy a Cade tank, for argument's sake, and I was to buy a Cade tank, I wouldn't be able to access the control panel because if I put it inside my alcove here, because I won't be able to get to it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So these things are like, it's like the design of it. The tanks, I believe, are supposed to be fantastic, but I think the design of like the stands and all that for the European market, in that sense, it would be interesting to see because you'd have to have a pretty big house to put one of them, if you get the bigger one, because and you'd have to put it against a flat wall, a big wall, you know what I mean? Because otherwise it won't be worth it because you won't be able to put any of your controls in it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know. I'd like to see them. I can't wait to see them. To be fair, see what they're like. But
yeah, I'm excited to go and definitely see the Cade tanks and stuff like that. That'll look awesome. Where's the poll again, Paul? Where's the poll? Why do we get the poll? Because I was going to ask if people are going Saturday or Sunday.
You need to go into your live YouTube studio. Click on the
studio.
Go into content. Go into live.
Go into content. Go into live. Sorry, guys, just having a live lesson here.
Click on your live stream.
Oh, it's not. And actually
then it should go.
Oh. It's not in that bit yet. Live. No, it's not showing on there. No. Strange. It's not showing.
That's what I mean. That's what happened to me. It didn't show last week. That's what I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't show. Yeah. Oh, it's not. I can't do a poll either, eh?
Hey, see, so it wasn't just me, mate.
And I was giving you a load of grief as well about this, wasn't I?
Exactly.
Josh,
I'm gonna be nice.
Come on, Josh.
Oh, here he is. He's back.
Here he is.
There we go. We're on a phone because the laptop's crashed. So
yeah, mate. No worries.
Oh dear.
it did the other day, and it's done it again. I knew it would.
It makes a change.
Mate, see. So it's not just me, mate, is it? It's always me usually. So fair play.
Yeah, dear. Mate, yours has still got time, Steve. Don't you be celebrating just yet. You've got time to have a little malfunction there. I was going to do a poll, but just whack a comment in. Are you going Saturday, Sunday, or never? And we'll see who's there. Question here from Irish guy: how do you remove aptasia? Aptasia. Tried peppermints, but came in on real. Yeah. Basically, what's your tips for managing aptasia?
I'm with peppermint shrimps. They savaged them, mate. When I had the 2 peppermint shrimps into mine, and they got stuck right into.
Did they eat your hammers Irish guys?
They didn't. No, they didn't eat. No, they didn't eat my hammers, or didn't even go anywhere near it. So they stayed. You know where they stayed? They stayed under the arch. So you know the arch, what I had in my tank. Yeah, that's where they lived. And then in the evening, you'd see them come out, and they'd go to town, on them and stuff, and they munch away and then go back under there, because obviously they tend to hide, don't they? Because they don't want to be obviously caught by a predator or anything like that. So in the day, they're underneath. It was underneath the rock. I could see them underneath it. They were just there. Yeah. And then at night time, like I said, they came out, did the thing. But yeah, they got rid of them. So maybe you just got some evil peppermint shrimps there, Irish guy. Because I'd never seen them touch my hammer. They didn't even come out during the day. So yeah, it's.
What about the burger?
Burgers, you can try them. Yes, you could try the burgers.
They're expensive and they're quite hard to get, but they do work. I mean, you have to get them in multiples as well, and put them obviously together, and they'll just breed. But of course, once your aptasia goes, then they die off because they only eat aptasia. I must admit, when it comes to peppermint shrimps, if you have a look, there's peppermint shrimps and then there's camel shrimps, and they look really similar.
Yeah, they do.
Before, and the camel shrimps are known to eat coral. I've had peppermint shrimps that look like they're eating coral, but what they tend to do is, if there's a little bit of die-off or there's a bit of algae or other stuff, they'll feed on the coral with the dead stuff as well. It's a bit like if a snail or something that's on its way out, the peppermint shrimp are going, because the cleanup crew, aren't they? So I'm not saying they don't eat corals, because clearly they have. I'd check to see, are they camel shrimps or peppermints? Yeah. But also, I mean, I've always had peppermint shrimps and they've worked. Other than the big aptasia, they don't touch big aptasia. They'll just ignore it. They're too big for them.
Yeah. Nice. Yorkshire Reef is saying, he's agreeing with you guys there, Nudie Banks. But
good. Said they are expensive.
I mean,
but if you've got any. But if you've got any wrasse in your tank, don't put them in, because they won't last long. If you've got wrasses in your tank, they just go for them. Those burger and nudie banks, they go for them. Yeah.
Before the nudies came out, I mean, years ago, you're talking about the original was filefish, copperband, Joe's juice or whatever it's called now. Different, it's stuff you can inject into the cell. I think for me, the answer to that question would be how bad are you suffering with them? Is it covered? Just 1 or 2? Because if you just 1 or 2, then I wouldn't go and get a copper band that might not feed after it's eaten your aptasia and die, or a filefish that might turn on to other corals. So I think the answer to that question is how bad's how bad is it really?
Yeah, I've got a couple in the other tank, and I've just been putting putty on them because I can't put a peppermint shrimp
in, do that.
Because the peacock wrasse just keeps on eating the shrimp, so I'm not bothering. So I've just put some putty over. And then once I give it a month, I take the putty off and it's gone. It's killed it off by then.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to put peppermints in, you're going to put them in at, from experience, put them in at night. Because I've, again, on one of my old tanks, put them in during the day and they just got air. Massive. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but they just did after literally within the wrasters just chased them around the tank.
They love it.
It's just about managing it, isn't it, with natural predators by the looks of it.
Well, I've had filefish that have eaten them really well, and then I've had another filefish that turned on my air cans. So again, it depends on
you don't want that.
Filefish we've had a nice fleshy coral, didn't they?
Yeah.
Coral Essentials said filefish, sunburst, butterfly fish. Possibly. Where is it now? Yeah, So Reef's had an explosion. He thinks it might be to do with the bacteria levels. There's a bit of a theory there. Not sure about that. Wondered if extra bacteria was fueling them. I think it's about managing them, isn't it? Managing them is getting a balance there. Bergia again, or burger. They like burgers. Yeah, possibly. Chuck one in. Here I've got Molly Miller Blenny for aptasia. John's got. Anybody know anything about that one?
Never heard of that one.
No,
I think we talked about that once before.
Yeah,
Molly Miller Blenny. I think that's been mentioned.
Lives in
Molly Miller Blenny.
Lives in Rockpools in Skegness. So you have to get that one. I haven't got a clue there. 8 peppermints and a hawkfish. Oh, the
hawkfish.
I did the same.
10 seconds.
I literally came back. I came back with it. Yeah, I did. I came back, and the worst thing is there were literally 2 wrestlers got. I shouldn't. It's horrible to describe it. Got one end of each other. Just kept pulling them to pieces. It was horrendous. I think I only ended up with about 3, and they were about £10 each. You know, they weren't cheap.
Yeah, they're not cheap. No, they're not cheap.
What? So you smashed like 60 quid in a minute?
No, I think I put 70 quid in. I think I put 7 or 8 in.
70 quid in, and they were gone.
I'm going back a few years ago, so they've probably gone up in price. And I think I only got 3 that were left over, and you know they did absolutely nothing compared to filefish that I had that was brilliant. But again, I've not tried burgers, so I don't know. But I know that I've
heard good things about them. Yeah,
nude is apparently good. But also Molly Miller's touch and go by the sounds of it. Hit or miss. Maybe, yeah. So, Evening Yorkshire Reef. If you haven't checked out Yorkshire Reef's YouTube channel, he's got a new YouTube channel, Tom. Have you? I don't know about yours. You have to update us on yours. Yorkshire Reef is now on YouTube. He's got a new YouTube
dear.
Can we have an update on your YouTube? Because there's a couple of YouTube questions. I think there's one for Josh. Asking him.
Tom's got a farming channel. Tom Brook the farmer. If you look it up,
explain why it's called Tom Brook the farmer, because I don't know if our viewers will know that.
And if you type in, we tried to find the channel, and all that come up was Tom Brook, and it's a farming channel. Pretty good, actually. I watched a couple of videos.
How to bring in the harvest.
Why?
I don't know. I just did. I might get some tips from it. You know.
Oh dear, I'll be turning his patio into a vegetable patch next.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was.
Growing pumpkins.
Now. But someone was asking, Josh, when are you joining YouTube?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Get yourself on.
Yeah, you've got to get on it, mate, for sure. Get on it.
With a tank like yours.
Showcase your tank for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's not just that. It's like a dog. It's like a diary.
New laptop.
Video diary.
Just get.
Yeah, the laptop's the problem. If it keeps crashing, I'll be screwed all the time.
Yeah. A new laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what? You'll be editing your videos and the laptop will crash. Yeah, that will be frustrating.
Oh, there it is.
I'll be the end of it before it started.
What is your YouTube channel, Josh? It's coming soon, same as Tom. Hey, let's have a race. Let's see who comes first. Yeah. But if you haven't checked out Yorkshire Reefer, he's got a really good YouTube channel at the moment. So yeah, check out his channel, the Yorkshire Reefer. Someone's asked a YouTube question. Is this the YouTube question? Wait up, evening lads.
No,
I missed the start. Got to walk the dogs. You keep running. Oh, he's listening to it in his pocket whilst walking around. Wow. That is fair play, Critical Reef.
Commitment.
Yeah, that is commitment.
Where's you want to go to 8:43, and it's Rich Matty.
Oh, thank you. Someone was asking about YouTube. 8 foot. Rich, here we go. YouTube question. I've started YouTube. Matty, yeah, there you go. There's another one. Join this YouTube channel. Get on it. Subscribe. Notifications. How do you guys do thumbnails, intros, profile pictures, and logos? Well, believe it or not, Mogsy is the man for, I believe, thumbnails and whatever else. So Mogsy,
IT guru.
Oh,
what do you use, Mogsy?
Yeah. I use 2 software. So I use Canva for doing my thumbnails and for YouTube and for Instagram and things like that. And then for thing, I use Power Director Pro. So I use Power Director Pro for all my editing. So I do all that, you know, for my videos and stuff like that. So they're the two that I use. Easy to use because I'm not really computer savvy in that sense, and it's self-explanatory. Once you've done a few of them, you do get to know where the buttons are and what's what and stuff like that. So it's fairly easy. But there's other ones out there which are crazy, just like way above my knowledge of it. So they're the best ones in my opinion to use. So Canva and Power Director.
Yeah, I use Canva as well to do my thumbnails. Canva's class in it, Steve. Really good.
Yeah, it's great, mate. Great.
I've got Canva for work, so yeah, I've got an account. Yeah, just need to use it. Yeah.
He's going to be all over it soon. There's the Yorkshire Reefers channel. Check out his 800 subs. 800 subs already. Wow. What was the other guy? Matty's. What was his thing?
Matty's Reef Aquarium.
Yeah. As for logos, the quickest way, if you go on Instagram, you'll find people that do logos.
Yeah.
And then it depends on how much you want to pay, and then they'll create a logo for you. I mean, you can use some of the Adobe software, but by the time you learn that, you might as well just go and pay for a logo.
Matty's Reef Aquarium. Here we go. Subscribed.
Yeah.
He's up to 8 subs. Yeah. Go and support him. He's also got a Reef. He's got a Reefer 170. You've got one, haven't you? You've got 170.
I have floating aquascape. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's your best video, isn't it? That one.
Yes, how to make a floating aquascape. I also got a lot of abuse for it, and it gets the most thumbs down as well. So it's weird.
I love it.
You either love it or hate it.
I love it, right? Because everybody in the comments says, "Oh, this will never work," and what is it like? 3 years on, it's still there and it's working.
Yeah, 3 years. It's hanging on in there.
It's hanging on. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna do an update on it actually, on how you do a floating aquascape, just to piss a few people off. There was one guy who abused me for ages and kept on sending me DMs, and he created a floating aquascape with glass, with the glass shelf, and it broke. I didn't laugh, but it broke, and then he's disappeared from this particular from Ultimate Reef.
Oh dear.
Sounds about right.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Drippy is in the house. Drippy's here.
Yes.
Evening reefing part.
Dripmeister.
Yeah, I'm back for 9. Back for 9. I'm in for the back 9. Oh, second half. Oh, I get it. Yeah. I've missed anything to do with reefing. Yeah, you've missed a lot. Josh, your Coral Essentials was on just when you'd froze, and they're kind of asking what you use and if there's anything that you recommend. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah.
Give us some
Steve,
tips.
you said you were using CVE Plus as well.
I use all their stuff, mate. Yeah. So I use the Grow. You know, the Grow. I use the amino acids. Well, I did do it in my tank. I've still got them, obviously, so I'll use them on my new tank. But yeah, I'm just going to start straight from the get-go with their products because they work. And that's what I said to the lads is like, if they didn't work and stuff like that, then I'd say, but they're just fantastic, mate. They made, the colours, especially with CVE. CVE was something like, which I just noticed straight away, you know what I mean? Within a week or two, it was just like, boom, they're more colourful. They seem more colourful, they seem healthier. So yeah. I recommend them for sure. I know you do use that, don't you?
Yeah. So I've got the CVE Plus. This is the first tank I've used it on. And there's corals in this tank now that I had in the previous Max Nano that I'm getting colours now that I never saw before. I don't know 100% that it's down to necessarily CVE Plus. It could be stability, but at the end of the day,
it's good.
What you can only attribute things to what you're using at the time. There's the video I put up the other day of the Rainbow Prostrata. The colours, even now, I'm getting more colours out of it now than what's in that video that is on the page. So yeah, I've been using that since pretty much the inception of the tank. I'm using their nitrate up for keeping the nitrates up. Their zeolites in the zeolite reactor, their carbon. I run carbon 24/7. I know some people sort of are quite against that because it does strip things out of the water. But for me, I think it's ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. If there's any heavies in the water that it could be pulling out, I'd rather have that and then have to dose a little bit extra to maintain it. rather than potentially have a heavy metal go flying through the roof or something like that. So I've been running that. So you see, got those there. I've also got the aminos. They're not on the doser yet. I potentially want to go on to doser. It just means I need to get a couple more doser heads because at the minute I think I'm running 5 doser heads. Just could do with a few. You could always do with more doser heads.
Yeah, I was the same, mate. No, go on, Tom.
I just wanted to ask you, Josh, something I forgot to ask you earlier. You've got to be probably one of the only reefers I know that has got an aqua vitro skimmer. How do you rate it?
Honestly, really good. I'm a big
it's made by Camo, isn't it?
So it's aqua vitro is like another company that I think Camo now. But to say it's an AC driven pump, it's really, really quiet. There's obviously the faintest little hum with it. That's inevitable. But the thing's like massively over engineered. It's got that like extra spillway off of it, so you get no micro bubbles coming out. It's got a really fine sock on it, so any extra like sort of proteins or anything that have not been skimmed out, again, filter back out. So it's basically double filtration in a skimmer. I really like it. It's really easy to deal with, really easy to manage.
Definitely,
It's the footprint of it is it's not as compact as others because the skimmer's external, the pump's external. So the pump's sat off to the side. When I spoke to Camo about it, they said the reason they've done that is because it allows them like a vortex effect rather than having the pump or the bubbles being driven straight upwards as they would normally be in the skimmer. So the bubbles just go straight up. They're sort of spinning around inside the skimmer body.
Like a spiral.
So it increases, supposedly increases the contact time. Yeah. So, I mean, that for me, that if that's the way, if there's the science behind it and it works, then brilliant. I get no sort of muck buildup in the body, which is a real massive, because you see a lot of times with that sort of skinners, you get loads of muck buildup where, the bubbles are sort of rising up. The very bottom of the skimmer cup is where the muck starts, in the neck of the skimmer cup. And I literally just pull that thing off, give it a clean out once a week. If it overfills, it's got a drain on it. So I've got a little tube that comes off it that I can just open and close just to drain the cup if I don't want to clean the cup out. There's like tons of over engineering with it that, some people might go, well, it's a little bit unnecessary, but if it helps to make the water that little bit cleaner and helps with stability, then it's a win-win for me. Super simple setup, plug and play.
I can remember Jake Adams reviewing him a few years ago when they first came out. He said they were really good, but I've just never really seen anybody in the UK have one until I saw one in your son. So I just wondered.
Yeah, so there was a lad local to me had one, and I asked him about, because I was given the opportunity to use it, so I thought, well, I'll see what it's like first. I spoke to a lad local to me that I'd been running one for about a year or so, and he said it was as good as any of the DC ones he'd had. I've not run any DC sort of that size skimmers. I've obviously had the Nano ones on the Nano tags before, but first experience with an AC skimmer of that size, and I've got no complaints at all. Obviously, there is the tiniest hum with it. And I'd be interested to see how that compares to a DC skimmer, to see if it is much quieter. But it's one of those things that, unless you're listening out for it, you don't notice it. It's a bit, it's really good. I've also got the Aqua Vitro zeolite reactor as well.
I didn't know they did one.
So they've got a calcium reactor, zeolite reactor, and I can't remember what the other one is. I think the other one might just be for like carbon and things, for just like a generic medium
basic reactor.
Pretty much. I've got it's called an Element Z. That's sat in behind the skimmer. You can't see it. It's sat in the little section behind it. That again, it's DC pumps. It's got an auto flush system on it. So I don't know if yours is a hand pump one, or that you got to do it manually.
Mine's the KZ one with the magnet at the bottom, the opposite way, so it sort of pushes against it when you plunge it.
See, I don't have to plunge mine. It just has a secondary pump on there.
Has a secondary pump on it.
Just absolutely belts the water through, so it tumbles it twice a day anyway. So I don't even need to touch it. That was the one thing for me when I came to running zeolites, was if I go away on holiday for 10 days, who's going to come in and do that twice a day? There's no one to do it. So I had to go down the route of having something that was going to be automatic. It does the. Could it be better? I don't know. I've never run one with like a DC pump or a better sized pump on it. I'm not sure. It is something I'm looking at potentially trying to DIY and upgrade on it, just to silence the continuous run pump, and then have a more powerful wash pump on it, just so it tumbles it a little bit more effectively.
So I'm assuming you've measured the flow coming out of that, then, so you know you're getting right. Yeah. Because I'm not getting enough flow through mine at the minute. That's because I've got the carbon in it. So the carbon's coming out tomorrow, and I'm going to have to measure it. Do you think you've got to get? I've got to get 2 liters in six seconds through it.
2 liters in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. That is some force.
That's a lot. Yeah, mine's going really slowly. I think it was. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's because of the size of the reactor versus the size of water behind it.
Yeah. I think mine was like 400 liters per hour or something maximum.
Yeah.
So
that's the measurement. That's the measurement. Because if you have too much flow, then you can get RTN. And if you have not enough, it doesn't absorb your nutrient basically, and your tank is effective. So, which is a worry why my phosphate's gone up slightly. So, I've had issues getting the bacteria on time, but I'm also thinking, well, because they tell you to put the carbon in the Zeo reactor, but now they're telling me to take it out of the Zeo reactor and make sure the flow going through the Zeo reactor is right. But that's
I've never had it in the reactor.
Yeah. See, that's fed on an Aqua B pump, and that's on maximum at the minute. So if I'm not getting 2 liters in 6 seconds, then what am I supposed to do?
God knows, mate. You've got another lover of CVE, Josh. Stefan Bates. Notice using CVE. I'm dosing more alkalinity. Corals are loving the stuff. Oh yeah, you've got some more people loving the CVE stuff there that you've just recommended.
I've got the power food as well. Actually, I forgot to mention that one. Like a powdered food of it. It's called power food. Powdered food.
Power food. That's what I use.
Yeah, I've been using that as well. Just because again, it's an organic source of food for the corals. It's that finely powdered that the coral polyps are going to grab it. And organic is effectively the same as fish poo in essence.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. I'm using it all.
So go on.
I'm using it all in my Nano, to be honest. I'm doing the CV and everything in my Nano tank, even now. You know what I mean? So it's. I just thought I might as well see what it's like. You know what I mean? I'm checking the nutrients and everything seems okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's the one thing is like with that coral with that power food, like other ones, like I used to do those Reef and the nutrient and it used to raise phosphates up by an obscene amount. You know what I mean? Whereas this stuff, the corals love it, and the nutrient and phosphates never seem to rise. You know what I mean? They seem to remain stable. So I love that stuff. I think it's great for the corals.
Thanks for all your comments tonight, guys. We've got about just over half an hour left. If you've got questions for Josh, whack them in the comments. We will answer them. Paul, you've got a question for Josh, yeah?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so everything that's going on in your tank, how much time do you think you spend on your tank per week?
Good question.
Too much.
Good question.
Too much. Honestly, time-wise, I'd say majority of it spent just staring at it. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing something, but if I'm staring at it because I want to, see if there's something that needs changing, needs rectifying, or if there's a little change that I could potentially making. I know that you should be leaving things alone and letting them grow, but you sort of it's not a hobby if you're not sort of doing things and tinkering, is it really? So, but I'd say sort of water change day. Weekly water change. I think it's 20 liters I do on this, so 10%. I think that takes, including the tests, because I do tests weekly as well. I think that takes me about an hour. You set the water change up the night before, which takes 5 minutes to set up, and then it's about an hour's worth of work. And then daily, it's clean the glass, feed the fish. What fish there are, feed the corals, and that's about it really. There's not a ton that needs doing. It just is a case of just staring in the tank and constantly just having a look, see what things
that's
are doing.
That's what you want to do, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's all you want.
That's what it's there for. You wouldn't, if you didn't want to look at it, you wouldn't have it, would you? So,
you know what? All these lot used to slag me off with all the gadgets that I have. You probably, I have tons of gadgets.
I never did.
We never won.
But now
once, but twice.
I've got the Trident and everything, so everything's all going to be going on it, yeah. And
I always
look at it like this. I always say exactly like what you just said, yeah. Is when I come in from work, especially like a long day at work, I want to come in, sit, and enjoy my tank. I don't want to be dosing. I don't want to be testing. I don't want to be doing anything. I want to just look, maybe clean the glass if I have to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's about it, mate. And then I want to just sit there and just like watch. look at it, just admire it, and just like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Because when I had my old tank, I used to look at that. I never hardly watch the TV. I just used to, like yourself, look around. Does anything dropped, or does anything need to be removed, or that needs cutting, that needs trimming, etc. That's all. That's just for me. That's what the hobby should be. It's just about admiring it, looking at it, and doing nothing to it. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, good idea. Right, Steve, got a question for
Absolutely.
you. It says J and Co. We've got a brand new reefer who's joined the hobby. He's bought a Fluval Evo 13.5, 52 litre. We've upgraded the return pump. Going to try the Prime 16 HD and the Fluval Mini Skimmer. Any advice on the first tank? So, there you go. Mogsy, what do you reckon to that little upgrades he's done as well there?
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. The stock pump that comes with it, I never kept that on anyway. I didn't even switch that on. But there's a lot of people say it's good enough. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to go against people who run it. But like I changed mine over to the Axis one. I got the new Axis 40, so I put that straight in from the get go, and then I've got the Prime HD as well, which is a great light, by the way. You know what I mean? That's one of the main things. But it depends on what corals you're going to put in it. I mean, I'm just having mine as a soft depth, but that HD will definitely grow SPS in it, no doubt about that. You know what I mean?
Steve, have you got the 16 HD or the normal HD?
There's 16 HD. Yeah. But I mean, the Fluval Mini Skimmer, I've never used that one, so I wouldn't like to say. But if I was you, I'd take that. It comes with a foam thing, you know, like casing where you can put media in it. If I was you, change it by some media baskets. So go over to like that. I mean, I got mine from Reef Print, a company called Reef Print. Just message me on Instagram, and I'll send you the link over. I got them from Reef Print, and it's just like a media basket in the first chamber and the return and the middle chamber, and you can put all different medias in there, your filter floss, etc. It's a lot better. I changed that straight away, and then I'm going to be getting a custom lid. I'm getting like I said before at the beginning, it is a polycarbonate lid that's been made, and it's coming out to me. Should be here next week. So really, yeah. I mean, that's the problem with those tanks. With these tanks, is the things that come with it is okay for the beginning, yeah. But then you will upgrade it. You know what I mean? Like you've just done, you've upgraded straight from the get go. But for me, you've done all right, mate. That should be enough for the time being. I don't know about you. You've never had one, have you? So,
no.
But for me, you've done all right. You've done all right, mate. I'd stick with that. Try and upgrade the media basket. Get some media baskets. They're not that much. And yeah, leave it at that. And then
welcome to
enjoy it.
Welcome to the hobby, mate. Welcome to the hobby.
Welcome to the hobby.
Jump on here every Friday and just ask your questions to people in the chat and to the reefers. And yeah, welcome. Paul, there's one here from Aquarium.
Nice. I might watch that.
Yeah, it's Fish Palace. I'll have a 27, a 13, and don't forget the prawn crackers. Right, get your questions in the chat for Josh. I've got a question for you, Josh. Where do you get your corals from?
Mixture of places. So if I'm going for high end, it's going to be Signature. I don't think there's anyone in the country that's doing nicer corals than Signature.
Pretty good.
There's some phenomenal bits in there. I've got the ASD style Rainbow Millie from him. I got it back in September, I think it was. It's just starting to colour up now, but I've never seen a coral look so, an aquapora anyway, especially a Millie, looks so orange. It's amazing. So obviously I get if I'm going really, really high end, if I want something that's really unique there, but predominantly local reefers. There's a lad really local to me, he's called Dan Headley. His Headley's Reef on Instagram. He's got a cracking tank. His pictures don't do it justice. It's got such depth to it when you actually see it in person. Brilliant tank. But Dan had a load of pieces in there that I've wanted for a while. So we just did a little bit of, every now and then you do a bit of trading with people around you, trade some stuff that you've got that they might want. And that's pretty much it. Local reefers trade things, or if anyone's got a frag and they want, you know, a few
What
pennies.
was the recent piece you got off him? Because I messaged him because I said, make sure you keep a piece of that for me in the future. Cause it's really nice. Which one is it?
Which one was it?
What have you had recently off him? Because I think you posted it, and I saw it, and I was just like, because I've seen them I've seen one similar
have a
to
look.
it.
Which one have you had recently? Was it? Did I put it on a story or did I put it on?
I couldn't tell you. It was like, I'm sure it was. It
was the
green. No, it wasn't. No.
Was it not? It was like green with pink tips on it.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. It's not fully coloured up yet, but
is it not?
That's supposed to be the strawberry lemonade. That was completely browned the thing out when I got it. It was no colour whatsoever. And Sod's Law now, the side that I can't see, which is facing the back of the tank, it's got all the colour, and then the side that I can see still got the brown because it's shaded.
Okay.
But if you get like a side view on it, and it's a beautiful. It's getting more colour to it, and then there's also a strawberry shortcake in there. That, to be honest, it looks more like a strawberry shortcake with the colours it's got currently.
Right. Okay.
But I think that's the one. I'll see if I can find a picture. I'll ping you the picture. I think that's the one.
Just to let you know, guys, Signature Frags is dropping an update at the end of January. I shouldn't really say this because I want some of these calls this time. It's dropping an update. It's got some nice gonnies, Steve. Keep your hands off. It's dropping at the end of the month, so keep an eye on that one.
Hey, I'm going to try and got it. I'm going to try and got it. I've got to succeed in that, mate. I've got to succeed in it. Got it. No, I've got it, mate. I've got it. I've got to try it. I've got to succeed in it, mate.
Yeah. Couple of YouTube questions here. They use Luma Fusion app for great for video editing. And Scott is going to join BooTube, he says.
Yeah.
You
know what? I collected some. Scott's tank. Honest to God, mate. I'm not just saying it yet. When it grows out, I reckon not just in Manchester. I think it'll be one of the best SPS tanks in the country, mate. It's just absolute. The colours are insane. Even now, you know what it's getting. And I went and collected some Zoas off. I've got some Zoas off him to stick in me. Some nice, beautiful Zoas to go in my Nano tank. And God, I think it was there about 2.5 hours just admiring his tank. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Yeah. Definitely. And he said to me, I'm going to start doing YouTube. I might do YouTube. I said, get on it, mate.
Jump on it.
Tom, was it the rainbow loom?
That's the one.
Yeah, I've just had a look and I just found it. Yeah, it was the rainbow loom. Yeah.
Is it on your Instagram?
That looks pretty tasty, that.
I'll ping you a picture of it, Jay, quickly. It was, I think I put it as one of my stories. But yeah, that's coming up really nicely. Yeah,
a rainbow loom.
Needs to darken up a little bit. That's under heavy blue, so it's it needs to darken up a little bit more. Just the colours look a little bit more prominent.
The picture you put on your story was just unreal.
I couldn't believe the colours that are coming out of it. You know, I was quite impressed with that. That again was another one that, to be honest, that never really browned. That bleached more than anything. That went really sort of pale.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that. Nice.
There's a lot of potential there. You can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
A lot of potential in that.
Is that the one?
That is the one, yeah.
That is the one.
Beautiful.
I don't know if it's my screen that's making it look pale or whether or not it's looking pale for the rest of you on the picture there.
Well, the picture you put on your story was just, it looked vibrant. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never as good as real life, is it? That's the thing. You can't quite
no.
Have you got a favourite coral, Josh? You got a favourite coral? If you had to pick one,
probably a Acropora hyacinthus.
I'm tabling acro.
Yeah, you know, it's. I'm trying to think. I did have another table in one off Dan actually, and it's like a proper true table. I think it was the efflorescence. Is it called? I think it was
Efflo.
Yeah, so that's like a thick, sort of real, like heavy table with no brown spaces between it. Whereas you get a little bit more space between the hyacinthus, but you get really nice colours, really nice growth pattern. If I could have a tank full of those, I would do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Wait till you try some LPS, Josh. You'll be no looking back then. I'm telling you.
I've got an A-can. That'll do for now.
Your A-can's nice, actually. Yeah, it's nice. Drip is saying, "Evening, Josh. Hope they've helped you settle in. My question is out of the four." How blue? Who's your favourite on the stream? Right. I'm not even, why have I put that comment up?
I don't know. You're just going to make him worse.
Yeah.
He's put us on the spot now, hasn't he?
What on earth? You don't have to answer that, Josh, if you don't want to. What's inspired you, Josh, to start a reef aquarium?
Reef aquarium was probably the 52 weeks of reefing that BRS did. Was it nearly 10 years ago, I think now. I wanted to do saltwater since I was a little kid because I got given a book for a birthday present. It was like a little, it was like a fish keeping book, and it had a dwarf flame angel in there, which is hands down favorite fish. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I want that fish, but I was told you can't. It's saltwater. So then, as soon as I obviously had left home and I had the opportunity, I thought, I definitely want to try and own one of those fish. But then I ended up finding the 52 weeks of reefing, started watching along and realised it probably wouldn't be compatible with the corals. And the corals were probably more what I wanted to do anyway. So that was pretty much it. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I want to do this eventually. It took about 4 years till I eventually decided to do it. But yeah, that was probably the first thing that made me think, yeah, I want to have a go at a reef aquarium.
Yeah,
never look back. Mate, you're smashing it. Your tank, I keep saying this, but your tank is absolutely stunning, mate. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Someone's asking, Gills is up to ask you, how do you dip your acros, Josh?
I've got the Fauna Marin. It's called The Dip.
I've got a picture of that.
Yeah, so I don't know if I sent you that one, or if you just got a picture of it potentially.
I might have nicked it off your Instagram.
Yeah, so I've been using that one for a couple of years now. But to be honest, there was a point where I was quite afraid of cutting the corals, and I would just dip them with the base and things on. Now every single coral that comes in gets cut in healthy flesh. So there's no base left. There's nothing there that might have some sort of bit of frag plug, a little bit of algae, anything. It literally is. Even if I end up with a nub of a coral, I'd much rather that than risk having something come in like aptasia or something daft like that. No, they're the tropic marine ones, mate. It's Fauna Marin. No,
I don't think I have got a picture of them, mate.
No, it's they use. I believe they use it on their farm over in Germany. So, they're using it over there. They got some pretty nice stuff. So I trust that it's good.
So you cut the bases first and then dip.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Just because it's like if I cut if I can cut the base off, I don't have to worry about that. And then if there's any potentially flatworms or anything that are crawling over the healthy flesh, hopefully then the dip will get them off.
I agree.
They don't lay eggs on the healthy flesh, so you're not going to run that risk either.
That's a fair point.
Food up, you know what? If I can remove the frag plugs off anything I get, and to be honest, they're unsightly anyway, aren't they? In your tank as well. You know what I mean?
I've got big concrete discs in mine.
you can't tell.
You make it look good somehow. I don't know how you make it look good, but it does look good in yours, buddy. It really does.
And you can't tell.
Oh yeah.
Stefan,
keep your hands off them gonnies on signature frags. You can clear off. Drippy's has already subscribed to Scott's channel. There's going to be a lot of new channels coming out. We've got JoshO's, Tom's, and now Scott's. Plenty to watch.
We've got Farmer Tom's. We've got Josh's. And now we've got Scott's. What's going on?
He's going to show us how to sow wheat.
Paul started that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Jay still getting a royal grammar? I've been put off by that, to be honest. There's been a number of people that said they're a little bit aggressive. They're a little bit. In fact, Josh, you were one of them. You told me quite recently that yours was aggressive.
I said that to you ages ago.
Anything that went in, it just went for. So he came out. It took about 2 hours and I had to move the scape around, and it was a mess. But yeah, it came
Baslet, the twats.
Yeah.
Mine's been fine. Right? I've had it for years. Absolutely fine.
Is it living on its own?
What?
No. I had it in a 450 litre, and that was fine for about 5 years. And now it's been in another tank for about 18 months with only about 3 other fish, but good as gold.
Yeah. So the answer to that is no. I've been put off because everybody keeps telling me they're a bit aggressive. So I'm gonna give that. Back to Liam. All bases cut off and then dip the coral. Not worth the risk. Got that T-shirt twice.
Exactly.
You had some, mate. I'm unlucky to hear that. Where's someone else having a worse week than Josh here? Where's he gone now? Where's it's here somewhere. I'm looking for you, John. Where are you, John? John. John's had a bit of a nightmare. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Look at this, gents.
Ooh.
Mate, I've knocked mine.
No.
I've knocked mine, and it landed on my lid. On my
absolutely, that's a good reason to have a lid.
Yeah.
That's my 2 Radiant G. Oh man, no,
that is a bad week, John. That is a bad week.
That's a terrible week.
I don't know, because your warranty's still probably void there and and stuff. I'm guessing.
I think so.
It's been swimming.
Yeah. Oh,
not
God,
good.
that's gutted.
Bad. Right, let's find some happy news now. I've got some happy news actually. Let me just. So the Red Sea. You know what I'm going to say next, don't you?
I do.
Red Sea.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. So those. I'm sure everybody in the chat's actually seen this as well. But Red Sea have released, as you may have seen, a new tank. Here we go. Let me just get it up on here. Here we go. Yeah, the Max Nano XL G2.
Yeah.
Brand
Looks nice,
new.
doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
Looks nice.
What are your thoughts?
You know what? You know what I love out of that, to be honest, is that roller filter that is hidden. That is going to be hidden. It's going to be unseen from behind, even with the screen.
Yeah.
You know, even if the screen was down, that actually fits straight in to the actual tank itself. I think that's great.
But that roller filter doesn't fit in the old version. So me and Jay, we can't use it.
Done it?
No, because I saw a post on it, and then I was exchanging messages with Paul at AAC.
Yeah,
and he confirmed it won't fit because this new one is deeper. So it only fits on the new one. So I thought, I love it. As you say, it's hidden below the line over there. Absolutely ideal. And you know, I like a roller filter, but it doesn't fit.
It's a lovely design, though, isn't it? Really sleek design. It fits where the sock originally goes, but like you say, this one's 2 foot deep, whereas ours isn't. Ours isn't 2 foot deep, is it?
Yeah. So the only thing with this, the size of the display is virtually the same as a Red Sea Reefer 170. So I think you've got to make a toss up between having this or having a 170, which goes to the fact that 170 is going to be more money because you've got a sump and you've got to pay all your return pumps, blah blah blah. But then I think if I look at how easy that is to run compared to the 170 is easier to run because it's got a sump. But I think this is a lovely tank, by the way. I do like the Nanos, but I think if you look at it, I'd probably go for, if it's a toss up between the two, I'll go for a 170. Unless it's about the money, it's cheaper because you get the light, didn't you? And you get the pump and all the other stuff.
You know what? I do like that. I do like that.
What's the price? What's the price tag?
I don't think they've released the price yet, mate.
I think it's about 1,100 and something with the stand and 900 and something without it. I'm sure I've seen it.
Is it 1,100 quid? Is it? You know what I mean?
170 then.
It's a nice, lovely setup. It is a
nice
lovely setup.
The price is on there somewhere.
Is it on there? Is it? I'll just keep scrolling.
There is some, I don't know if it's there or I saw it the other day.
It works with your ATO that you've got, the Red Sea ATO as well. That
it doesn't come with that. That's option. You have to buy that. But I mean, it's a brilliant ATO, as you know. I think of that.
Yeah.
Well, it is nice. It is a nice tank. That, to be fair,
following
it.
I'm sure it says something about the price.
I'm sure you can buy it.
Click on the spec and then go to the bottom. I think it might be on there.
Specs.
Yeah, put your specs on. It's at the
top. Mine's tiny. Look, it's only 75 litres. Shocking. I do like that. But why would you go for the 170 with the sump underneath, Paul, rather than this with it integrated?
You got more water volume.
There
you go.
There it is.
There you go. 949. Yeah, 1169. So I would go for it because I think it's easier to run the tank.
Yeah.
You haven't. You can choose your skimmer. You can choose your return pump. If you've got issues and you want to put reactors in and stuff like that, you've got more flexibility on kit.
Yeah.
But obviously it's more money. And the same footprint, you've got a bigger water volume. So instead of having, 125, you'll get 170. So you've got a bit more for stability as well. And having both the 170 running and this one, I like this tank, don't get me wrong, really nice. And I like the Peninsula look on it as well. But just the 170, I think, is just an easier tank to run. The only downside in the 170, you've got a weir in it, whereas this, you've got a nice clean back. So there's pros and cons.
Yeah. And you've got a dry cabinet with this, whereas I don't think you do with the 170.
Absolutely. So you store all your crap in there rather than, and the ATO container goes in there, got 15 litres of RO in there. Whereas you have
I think that's expensive for what it is, personally.
What, this one?
For the side.
What are you on about?
But you get the pump, you get a skimmer, you get lights.
Oh, you get a light with it, do you? Right,
yeah, you get the lights. You get the lights.
It's not a bad price, that. It's not a bad price.
I think it's all right for what you get, and that's the cabinet as well. Price. So yeah, you all you got to buy is your heater and the rest of the stuff. You have the rest of it and your RO container. I'd swap out the RO for another one.
I absolutely love these Red Sea Max.
Yeah. I think they're fantastic, mate. To be fair, I think they look good quality. They've got really those seals on. I'm taking it. They've got those seals like what you've got in yours, haven't they, Paul? You know,
the plastic ones down the side there.
Yeah, down the side.
Chipping away at the silicone. So that's really good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a quality build. I tell you what, the quality is still not as good as a DD tank.
You can get a DD. You can get a DD 1200 for 1,400 quid.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think them DD tanks they look awesome.
They are awesome. They are awesome, to be fair. You know what? To be honest, all I've ever seen is like good reviews on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, I've not seen. I think maybe one who wasn't happy with it. I think the stand came chips or something on one of the forums. Well, that's an accident, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm sure they would have amended that. You know what I mean, for them. But yeah, I mean, other than that, all I've ever seen is good reviews saying all the tanks are fantastic, the build quality, the stand, etc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As you
can see it on Paul's video.
Mine's 4 years old, and the cabinet is it looks exactly the same as it did on day one.
So in the chat, what's some thoughts on this? We don't often get a new Max Nano, so what's your thoughts on this one?
I'm just curious to know what the target audience is for it.
Downsizing because of cost of living. This is driven by cost of living. People still want to be in the hobby. Go on.
The Grumpy Reefer's getting one. The Grumpy Reefer's getting one. He's saying.
Yeah. Who else is getting one?
Yeah.
The only criticism I saw when they launched it was someone just like Paul said, it's a 170, but just with obviously with a built without the sum. Yeah, because someone said, well, what's the difference? And Red Sea said, basically responded and said, yeah, it's a 170, but obviously you've got all the kit.
It comes down to choice, doesn't it, as well? I think that is a really good point. I think Steve made it the other day. Your cabinet, you can put your stuff in. Yeah. Whereas the 170, I mean, I would not have the 170 of the sump, and some people see all the power bricks and everything around it.
Yeah.
There's no way I would do that because I'd be dropping stuff left, right, and centre. So you do need somewhere. I mean, it's in the garage, mine, so obviously it's all around the side and it's the power plugs are above. But if it was here, I'd have to have another cabinet, which then means if I've got another cabinet, I might as well get a 250.
Yeah.
You might as well get a 3-foot tank because that's all you're doing, aren't you? And with a 3-foot tank, the 900 I've got, the DD ones, you don't get a dry area for your stuff. For me, you'd have to go for 4 foot to get a dry area. So that's an advantage as well that you don't realise until you've got the tank is where do you put all your electrics and all your dosing pumps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd go over the 170.
On the talk of new tanks, though, Gill's Aquarium has just said about those Neptunian tanks. Have you seen those Neptunian tanks that have come out?
Yeah.
I know AAC have got one in, Paul's got one in, and I know Crack and Corals have got one in as well. You know
so
what I mean? But
I've seen it. Good. I've seen it. It looks a good quality build.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I absolutely hate. The sticker, wherever's Red Sea, it goes on the door. The sticker for it is right there.
Yeah,
it's on the glass. Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
And also when I was talking to Paul about it, and the rest of the people in there, you try and take that off. I don't know how you would get that off, and if you take it off, you probably have a big mark. And that sounds a really small point, but that would really, really annoy me to have a sticker with the name of the brand on the glass.
On the glass.
Even if it was a grey tank, that would put me off. And that sounds really stupid, but it would really annoy me because I have the glass so you can see, and something that stands in the way.
You want to look at your corals, don't you? Yeah, you want the beauty of your tank, not any distractions, as it were. I agree with you, Paul. There, I agree.
Definitely.
But it does look fun, to be fair. And the weir at the back is only about 2 inches. I don't know how they've done it, but it's really, really slim and looks really good. So it looks that aside, it looks a quality build.
I think I'd like one of these, to be honest. I do like them. They look really nice.
Yeah, I do. I do like them.
And they're only marginally more expensive than the original ones. I love yours, the Peninsula one that you've got as well, Paul. I do like the shape. I prefer the shape of that as well. In fact, I prefer the shape of that yours to the shape of this one. Back to the cube style. I prefer the Peninsula.
I've got to say, if I had the 3-foot Peninsula now, that would be really, really nice. If you want a small tank, just stick another foot on there.
Yes,
that would actually be really. And they do the 3-foot one. They do a 3-foot Peninsula. The problem is the RO container's not in the tank, so you have to put it outside for your stuff. So you have to have a different cabinet. You can't fit the RO container in the cabinet. It's rubbish. But as a tank, it looks really nice. Because I do like a Peninsula.
Yeah,
I do like the shape of yours. Yeah, it's just showing you where that filter roller goes now. Look, you can see where it slots in there. That is smart. That is just sleek design.
it is.
It is nice.
Yeah,
they're great tanks though. But you're right. A lot of people are downgrading their tanks. I've seen some comments about people doing away with their 250s and 350s to get this tank or get the 120. What are you doing, Jay?
But me? Oh, sorry, mate. I'm just adjusting my camera because I'm. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, they're downgrading. I think also, Tom, people will buy that to get into the hobby as well. I think the LFSs will be selling those rather than the Peninsula and the 75s. One that Jay's got and the one that I've got. I think the starter tanks.
I think so as well. I think it's going to be that's going to be very popular in the hobby, and hopefully we get to see it aqua as well because Red Sea are there as well.
I think they will.
Hopefully, we have got some good news though. John's been paid out of his insurance.
Oh, nice!
£740. So I guess home insurance, is that what that's paid? I don't know.
Yeah, must be.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
I won't throw them away though. The ones that he dropped, there might be somebody out there that can fix him for him. You never know.
Well, I'd go to Exodus, who and just say, what can we do? They might be able to help. Might be able to send them back. They'll have a look at them, and see if they're totally fried or whether something can be done.
Grumpy's Grumpy's got the Red Sea Max Nano, the cube one that I've got. Obviously now he's saying he's upgrading. Mrs. has finally given in, and
nice.
I have to lay a new floor for a third. Sounds like you're out.
Been laying that new floor for a year.
Mate, you know what? That's what my job is. On my next day off is laying all the new flooring. God.
Yeah. Anybody else buying the new tank or interested? Whack it in the comments. Lay some new all right, here we go. I'm gonna have to skip this bit now.
Because Drippy's gonna be involved, isn't he?
Drippy's all over this now. I can't put that on. It's still a family show, even though it's at nearly 10 o'clock.
What's that?
Oh, Drippy's on. Drippy's just having a laugh.
He's on one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the beers, I think. John likes his water box tanks. Yeah, he's got some
diatoms with it.
Diatoms with it.
Some love for the DDs there. So nice. They are really nice. Lots of love in the chat for the DD tanks. Again. Yorkshire Reefer. I'm installing my net.
Wow, nice.
The
new tank.
Send me a picture. Let me just have a little look, guys.
Look forward to that.
He's got 3 tanks running now, I think.
Where's it now? Yorkshire Reef. Right. The net. He's got how many tanks running, you say, mate? 3.
This is his 3rd, I think. Yeah.
Right. Let me just try and screen share. Inbox. All right, here we go, mate. So here we go. What we're looking at here, Steve, do you know what we're looking at? Wow.
1 minute.
Is this the live pictures? There's a lot going on here, mate. Oh, it's
yeah, he's literally installing it while he's watching us, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's installing it.
What size,
the big
what
one,
size tank's that? What size is
that's the 5 foot one. That's the
is it?
the 5 foot one. That.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, look at the live
5 foot
stream
one,
on the TV. That's Dave.
Yeah. We're on the telly, Jay.
It looks like the family watching
we are.
it. It looks like family watching it, and he's got a lot of kit there on the floor.
Yes.
Hey, that looks amazing.
A lot of tennis as well. Wow.
That looks the business. That does.
You see, you know what I like. You know what I like about the big one there. Yeah, is you've got a lot of space for your dry. For your dry section. Yeah. Whereas the 4 foot one and the smaller one, you've got zero. You've got nothing. And I spoke to Paul from AAC, and he said exactly the same. He said, if you're thinking of putting any gadgets in there, forget it, because you won't get any in. In the 4 foot one. So you know what, and because he's got the smaller one set up, so the 2 foot.
Yeah, he has.
And he says he says you've got no chance. You can't fit anything in there. So, there's pros and there's cons, because like he said, the actual tank is very well made. You know what I mean? He said it's really well made. So, it's I dare say, like he said, if you've got a separate cabinet where you can house your dry side, then you know what, it could be a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks awesome. That does, mate. It looks really good. Again, if you've got any questions, where's Josh? Oh, Josh is here. If you've got any questions for Josh before we go, guys, I thought he'd gone there. I thought he'd just done one.
I think his linked to the McDonald's Wi-Fi, mate. Like we
That's what I used to have.
all used to be.
I used to
linked to the McDonald's Wi-Fi. I think you bought.
Oh dear.
I did.
Yeah.
Ethernet cable's the way to go.
Rubbish, mate. Wi-Fi.
Josh, we haven't asked you nutrients. What do you run your nutrients at?
Yeah.
I literally wrote them down. NO3.
Oh, he was ready for this. He was ready.
Yeah.
For this.
Give us your
I'm
parameters.
trying to go as low as possible, to be honest.
Okay.
So like NO3, I'm going around sort of 1 to 3. I don't want to go above 5. I'm using a Salifert test kit, so as long as I'm getting a real pale color on it, I know there's something there. But I don't really want to go above 5 with the nitrates, and then similarly with the phosphates, I don't really want to go above 0.04. See, I don't want to bottom them out. The phosphate test kit from Salifert is not as ideal, so I've literally just got a Hannah. I've not even used it yet. That arrived yesterday, so I'm going to be getting the nitrate low range one as well, because if it goes above 5, it'll obviously error out, and I'll know I've gone too high. But yeah, trying to run them as low as possible. I've sort of based it loosely off of the if you go on the Fauna Marin website, they've got a couple of like sort of reef recipes. One of them being, I think it's offshore style, which is based around sort of acropora growth. And the nutrients they advise on there are really, really low. So I just thought that it makes sense if that's what they're growing and they're a farm and they know what they know what the corals need to sort of base it off of what they're saying. So yeah, and there's obviously a lot of SPS reefers are doing sort of the lower nutrients. It seems to get a better colour out of acropora. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going with those.
As for the Hannah checker, is that the one you had, Jay, the low one that took about 27 minutes to do?
Mate, that was a joke. That was. Yeah, I had the low range Hannah checker. Yeah, I don't use it.
They've got like 7 different steps to get it to actually do this.
Oh, mate, it was ridiculous. All
it's
that
the one that's got the
filtration paper and all that stuff.
Filtration paper, yeah.
It was crazy. Stefan's predicting that they'll bring out an all-in-one 250 Red Sea. Will interesting concept.
Probably
I mean, a bit like yours there, Josh, wasn't it? Apart from obviously it being all-in-one, but same sort of size.
They did do the bigger tanks all in one style, didn't they? That you could upgrade. I can't remember what they were called. They had a different name.
The Eve, there was the E version,
E
wasn't
series, that's it. Yeah, they're the one.
It was you was just recycling in it, but you could then convert it to a sump.
Yeah.
I think they went up to 250. It was the 170, it was 260, weren't it? I think they was calling it
260.
Paul, I've got to ask, which arm have you got the Red Sea tattoo in? Is it the right one or the left one?
on both.
He's on the official Red Sea website. He is, bloody Paul, with his video.
Oh, I am, aren't I? Yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
They should be giving you a free tank this time round, Paul.
You got it at the back of your car window.
You're watching, Red Sea. Paul needs a new tank to do another video. Give him that new one.
I don't need another tank, but yeah.
If you want to check it out, there's one available on display at Radical Reefs in person. Awesome tanks. I assume 100%.
That's the Neptune, I think, is on it. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Absolutely. We do love Red Sea tanks. We've all had Red Sea, haven't we? Yeah, we've all had Red Sea. Tom, you've had Red Sea, haven't you?
Yeah, the last one was a Red Sea. Yeah,
all had Red Sea.
But the DD ones are better.
You know the only thing I don't like about the DD is the nozzle.
Yeah,
I just do not like that.
Horrible.
It's the most ugliest thing on it. I just don't know why they can't change. Can you change it? Can you actually change that? By like a different one.
It's so cumbersome. Yeah, it's daft.
You probably could. It just screws in. I mean, it's actually really good from a flow perspective. It's really good.
Yeah.
But it don't look good.
I think it's something from OnlyFans or something. I think that is. It looks like it anyway. It does. Oh, we've got loads of Josh in here.
Two of them. That's his multiplying.
Twins.
It's only one Josh. Oh my God, it's all over the calf. As Darren says, you've got to have a laugh. Yeah, you've got to definitely have a laugh on a Friday. Otherwise, we'll definitely cry. And Drippy always brings the laughs, mate. So appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. Hopefully, there's a video coming soon. Then Yorkshire Reefer, he's whacking out the videos. Speaking of videos, Paul's dropped a video today. Do you want to give us a little insight?
What is it? The DD900, and it's the first one I've done of the livestock that's in there. I look back, I don't think I've ever updated it before, so I'm really happy with the tank. Brilliant.
It's a brilliant video. It's kind of like an overview of the corals in that tank, and we haven't seen that tank for ages.
No.
So and that chalice that chalice is going to break out the glass in a minute.
It's about what? It's like a dinner plate. It's about 12 inches by about 15 inches.
It is, yeah.
It's huge.
Any more questions for Josh? You've got about 2 minutes left. In fact, we've got another 2 minutes because Steve was late, so he's got to stay in detention. So we've got 4 minutes left, guys. 4 minutes. Someone's building.
Can't hear him now.
Oh, he's gone quiet.
Is he on mute?
No, we can't hear you, Josh.
He's there.
There you go.
I tell you what, mate, you're making Steve look like a professional here.
Yeah. I'm a professional, mate.
Mate, to be fair,
I think you should spend a minute on flow, because he said originally you were going to talk about flow, so we've not really touched on flow. So you're obviously a big fan of flow, Josh. So talk to me about flow.
Like I said before, like the Max Nano was a bit of a chore in that I had some corals that were getting blasted and then other ones that the polyps pretty much weren't moving. And obviously using sort of like a narrow stream wave maker, you're getting that jet across the tank, and unless you've got a big open space for it to spread out into, you're not going to get much flow around the tank. And then once it hits an opposing wall, that just dissipates it and it'll go to the top or the bottom and then recirculate itself. So obviously I've got the orbits in there now, which are much better. I've been chatting with Christian from Signature because one of his points about my tank was he said, yes, you can see some of the corals are getting really good flow, but then there's other ones that, you know, aren't getting anywhere near enough. And like Jay was saying before, I think flow is one of the most underrated like parts of a reef tank. And yeah, so like we sort of tinkered around with it, changed the settings a little bit just to see what we could get out of it and see if we could really sort of hit all the acropora with a decent amount of flow. And we are doing it now, but you know, I think it has come at the detriment of a couple of the areas that were potentially getting a bit of flow before, now aren't, which is causing the cyano. So it's a big swings and roundabouts one. But if you're running high lighting, you know, if you're running high nutrients, if you're running anything where you're pushing the limits, I think you've got to have that flow to be able to remove the waste products away from corals. So if you're not hitting them with flow, you're going to end up killing them eventually. It might be a really slow thing, but you are going to start to see a little bit of tissue necrosis. You know, you'll see it with shading, but you'll also see it where you might have like detritus settling on a table in acropora, for example, or on the backside of a coral that's not getting any sort of flow. It will eventually die off. So yeah, I think you do need to. I think they'll handle a lot more than what we expect as well. You know, if you see footage of like a normal reef, when you see like sort of shoals of chromis, they'll move about 10 foot in the space of about a second with the amount of water that's being shifted. That's not them swimming. That's just literally the current moving. How that's how powerful the ocean is. So if the SPS is managing to survive that, they'll survive most things in our tank, as long as it's not a power head being about 10 centimeters away and on full tilt. They'll survive a lot. I'm hitting them with way more now than I thought I could, and I'm getting more poly extension than I ever have done. So it sort of speaks volumes really about how resilient they really are. I was going to ask actually, Tom, you put that video up of your tank the other day, didn't you? The older tank. I don't know if it was
closed loop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, you had that the closed loop in the centre of all the pipes sort of coming up. How did you find that?
Spot on. Loved it. Yeah. In hindsight, if I was going to have another peninsula that sort of size, definitely do it again on a separate system, on a separate pump. Yeah, we're brilliant. Yeah,
looked absolutely really class. There's the guy on I can't remember what he's called on Instagram, but I think he's got 2 separate closed loop systems where he's got the returns are coming up in the corners of the tank, the bottom corners. I think it might be Swiss Reefer.
I think it is Swiss Reefer.
God,
I
it's
yeah. I mean, if I wasn't running
that's something that I was saying to Steve when he came out originally to see me about this behind me. Is a lot of people forget. A lot of people think a return pump is just to return the water back in the tank, which obviously that's what it does. But if you get a decent size one that you can really use for extra flow, it really does add a lot more flow in there than people realise, and having to add lots more wave makers. So I think for me, again, a closed loop, if you're going to go custom, is definitely a no-brainer. Yeah. But I also do recommend going for a bigger return pump if you can afford it. Definitely, you can always it's like having a bigger skimmer. You can dial it down. You don't have to fight about dialing it up. So I just think return pumps for me are underrated. People should get. I know it sounds crazy, but as big as they can. Size wise, and if you only have to run it at 50%, then happy days. But then if you're fortunate enough for everything to grow really well, which is what we all want, you can then turn it up without having to go out and buy more kit.
Yeah, and like Drippy says there, he's just come back, hasn't he? He's been diving, and he just says the corals are getting battered in the ocean, and they do.
Exactly,
they do. Josh, you've been one of the best guests we've ever had. We say that to all of them, right? But you have been one of the best. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that, mate.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me time. Jumping on the stream. We really appreciate it. We enjoyed it. Thanks everybody who's commented tonight. Honestly, you guys are awesome for the comments. If I've missed any, it's a nightmare. The boys will say it's hard to keep track, but we do apologise if we missed any. But yeah, I think that's time up, gents.
Well hosted, Jay.
Any final words?
Well, Jay. Done really good there, mate. As always.
Right, we'll leave it there, guys. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your
great weekend.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you next Friday.
See you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Right, there we go. End. Nice one.